Let me ask you something strange. If I told you that two people could work the exact same job, earn the exact same salary, live in the same city, and retire 15 years apart, would you believe me? Because it happens all the time. And the difference between them has nothing to do with luck, inheritance, or some secret investment tip they found online. It comes down to one thing, one simple decision that most people never even think about: the number of ways their money comes in. That's it. Not how much they earn, not how smart they are, not even how hard they work. Just how many doors money can walk through into their life. Most people have one door, and they guard it like everything depends on it, because for them, it does. One job, one paycheck, one way in. And here's the psychology behind that. When you only have one income stream, your entire sense of financial security is tied to one thing not going wrong: your boss staying happy, your company not downsizing, your health staying good enough to show up. That's not a financial plan. That's a tightrope walk. Today, we're going to talk about three income streams that don't just add money to your life, they actually change the way you think about money. And that shift in thinking is worth more than any paycheck. Here's how most people think about income. You go to school, you learn a skill, you trade that skill for a salary, you get paid every 2 weeks. That's the deal. And for a while, it works. The money comes in, the bills get paid, life moves forward. But then something funny happens. The expenses grow with the income. The lifestyle expands. And suddenly, even with a decent salary, there's this low-level financial anxiety that never fully goes away. Sound familiar? Psychologists call this the hedonic treadmill. As your income rises, your expectations rise with it. You adapt, and then you need more just to feel the same level of okay. It's like running to stay in place. So people work harder, they chase the promotion, they grind for the raise, and none of it fixes the underlying problem, which is that all of their financial weight is resting on a single point of income. Now, imagine a table with one leg versus a table with four legs. The one-legged table might hold up fine on a perfect surface, but the moment the ground shifts, it falls. The four-legged table absorbs the shake and stays standing. Income works exactly the same way. The people who build real financial stability aren't necessarily earning more than you. They're just earning from more places. And today, we're going to look at three specific income streams, not the complicated ones you need a finance degree for, but the three that actually change your financial future when you start building them in the right order. The first income stream isn't passive, it's not automatic, but it is the foundation everything else is built on, and most people completely undervalue it. It's called the skill premium, and here's what that means. There's a version of your current skill set that earns what you earn right now, and a more refined, more specialized, more documented version of that same skill set that earns significantly more, sometimes double, sometimes more, for the same number of hours. Think about two plumbers. Both fix pipes. Both work 8-hour days. But one plumber has taken courses in commercial systems, built a portfolio of reviews online, and positioned himself as the go-to expert for restaurant kitchens in his city. He charges 3 times more and has a waiting list. Same skill, different premium. The first income stream isn't about finding a second job. It's about extracting more value from what you already do. And the psychological piece here is important. Most people stop developing their skill the moment they feel comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of the skill premium. The question to ask yourself is this: within my field, what does the top 10% know that I don't? And then close that gap. Because here's what happens when you do. Your income goes up without your hours going up. That gap, the extra money that comes in without extra time going out, becomes the fuel for everything that comes next. You cannot build income streams 2 and 3 without income stream 1 creating the surplus to fund them. This is the step people skip, and it's why so many people try to start investing with nothing and end up frustrated. Build the skill premium first, create the surplus, then deploy it. Now we get into the part people find most exciting and most confusing: passive income. The words get thrown around so much that they've lost their meaning, but strip away the hype and the definition is simple. Passive income is money that comes from an asset you own rather than time you spend. Let me give you the clearest example I know. When you work a job, you are the asset. Your time, your energy, your presence, that's what's being purchased. The moment you stop, the income stops. But when you own something that produces income, a rental property, dividend-paying stocks, a digital product, a piece of content on the internet, that thing keeps generating returns whether you're awake or asleep, working or on holiday. Now here's the psychology that makes this so hard for most people to start. Assets cost money up front, and we are wired, deeply biologically wired, to feel the pain of spending money more intensely than we feel the pleasure of gaining it. Psychologists call this loss aversion. It means that spending $1,000 on an asset that will earn you money over time feels more painful in the moment than keeping that $1,000 in your pocket, even though logically you know the investment makes sense. This is why people procrastinate on investing. It's not ignorance, it's instinct, and understanding that helps you push through it. The most accessible version of this income stream for most people is index fund investing. Not individual stocks, not crypto, not anything complicated, just regular, consistent investments into funds that track the broader market. Here's the simple version of how it works. You put money in, that money buys tiny pieces of hundreds of companies. Those companies earn profits. Some of those profits come back to you as dividends, and over time, as the economy grows, the value of your investment grows with it.
The magic ingredient is time. A small amount invested consistently over 20 years does things that feel almost unbelievable when you first see the numbers. Because of compound growth, where your returns start generating their own returns, the growth accelerates the longer you leave it alone. But the key insight is this: you don't need a lot of money to start. You need to start before you feel ready, because time in the market is the actual asset. Every month you wait is a month of compounding you give up. Start with what you can, automate it, and let time do the heavy lifting. This is the one that feels most relevant to the world we actually live in right now. We're in the middle of a massive shift in how value is created and exchanged, and the people who understand this shift are quietly building income streams that would have been impossible even 15 years ago. Here's the idea. Whatever you know, your job, your hobby, your life experience, your hard-won lessons, there are people who would pay to learn it faster than you learned it. This is the knowledge economy, and the income stream it creates comes in a few different forms. A course that teaches what you know, a newsletter that shares your insight, a YouTube channel, a coaching service, a digital guide, an ebook, a community. None of these require you to be famous. None of them require a large audience to start generating meaningful income. What they require is specificity. The narrower your topic, the more valuable you become to the exact person searching for it. Here's a comparison that makes this click. Imagine two people both know a lot about personal finance for freelancers. Person A writes general money tips for everyone. Person B creates content specifically for freelance graphic designers navigating inconsistent income months. Who do you think gets the loyal audience? Who do you think the freelance designer trusts more? Who commands a premium when they eventually launch a product? Specificity creates authority. Authority creates trust. Trust creates income. The psychological barrier here is what people call imposter syndrome, the feeling that you don't know enough to teach, that someone else knows more, that who are you to charge for this? And the answer is simple. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know more than the person one step behind you. And you absolutely do. This income stream starts slow. It requires consistency and patience, but what makes it powerful is that it compounds in a different way than money does. Every piece of content you create, every lesson you share, every person you help, Those things accumulate and continue working for you long after you created them. So here's the deeper idea behind all three of these. Most people think about income the way they think about a tap. You turn it on, the water flows. You turn it off, it stops. One tap, one flow. What wealthy people, not just rich people, but genuinely financially free people have actually built is a plumbing system, multiple pipes connected and flowing from different sources feeding into the same reservoir. And the real insight is this: each income stream changes how you think about the next one. When you build the skill premium, you realize your value isn't fixed. You start seeing yourself as something that can be improved and invested in. That unlocks a new relationship with learning and earning. When you build the passive income stream, you start thinking in assets. You start asking not just what does this buy me now, but what does this earn me later? That is a complete rewiring of how you see money. And when you build the knowledge economy stream, you start thinking in leverage. You realize that one unit of your effort can reach hundreds of people simultaneously. That's the opposite of trading time for money. Each stream shifts your mindset, and the mindset shift is actually worth more than the income itself, because it changes every financial decision you make from that point forward. Here's what to actually do with this. Don't try to build all three at once. That's how you burn out and build none of them properly. Start with Stream 1. Identify the gap between your current skill level and the top 10% in your field. Spend the next 3 to 6 months closing that gap. Use the extra income it generates to fund Stream 2. Once you have even a small surplus, even $50 a month, automate it into an index fund. Don't wait until you have more. Start with what you have. Let it grow while you work on the other streams. And as you do this, start paying attention to what you know. What questions do people ask you? What problems have you solved that others are still struggling with? That is the seed of Income Stream 3. You don't need to launch anything tomorrow, just start noticing. Here's the thought I want to leave you with. Financial freedom isn't about earning a specific number. It's about reaching a point where money flows into your life from enough directions that no single source has complete power over you. One income stream gives your employer, or your clients, or the economy enormous power over your life. 3 income streams changes that equation. And the beautiful thing is that you don't need to be born wealthy or brilliant or even particularly lucky to build them. You need time, consistency, and the willingness to think about money differently than most people around you. The people who build this aren't special. They just started before they were ready, stayed consistent when it felt like nothing was happening, and let time do what it always does. The question is just when you decide to start.